Guys, let's get started. For some people, we're facing a very complex market. For others, we're looking at some opportunities. Today, I'm going to update you on the latest setups I've shared. I shared them both in the last video, talked a bit about them, and especially in the communities. And, in the groups, so in the free group, I share these setups clearly and objectively with entry levels and exit levels. It's stop loss, right? And within the free group, I shared it, right? The analyses. So let's get to it, right? What do we have in the market today? What is the market showing us right now? First of all, right? Here we have the setups I shared, right? We've got Bitcoin here. I suggested a short in the 66,700 region, which is located right over here within this specific geographical area. I mean, that's the market. It was shaping up. It was building up liquidity, right? Generating liquidity, and there was an interesting order block. Our structure was clear. So what I did was wait for the market to capture liquidity, mitigate the order block, and then start a downward move. So here we're taking a pretty interesting trade, which is paying out about 6%. Okay, I'm still in this trade, and there's an area to watch out for, which is the following region. See, the market is right here, look. And it generated liquidity. So in this area down here, there's a lot of liquidity. So what could the price try to do here? It could try to sweep that liquidity, mitigate this order block, an internal order block, and start an upward move. Okay. But since the market swept that liquidity and mitigated that block, the price's target would be external liquidity. But okay, I'm not ruling out the possibility of a trade here, okay? The market is in this region here. It lined up on the 15-minute chart. You can take it, but it's a high risk trade because it's going against the flow. So you need to have flow alignment there. Otherwise, I'd rule it out. It makes a beautiful short trade. Those who are in the community took advantage. Let's go. Ethereum. Here's the deal with Ethereum. With Ethereum, I didn't take a short. There was even a region here, but I didn't end up taking a short on Ethereum. I was finding Ethereum a bit stronger. And it really is. You see, here's the thing with Ethereum. I'll even share an analysis from yesterday in the community that we started, right? Working in an upward trend here, inside an ascending channel, and below this channel, there's a lot of liquidity being generated. That's what we talked about. And here we also have some really strong liquidity levels. Alongside that, the market left us with an interesting order block where we also have a key level. Those who are students understand what I'm talking about, right? So what do I think could happen here with Ethereum? I believe Ethereum could come down, sweep the liquidity that's below this 1640 region, and sweep the liquidity that's below 1600. By mitigating this order block in this region, we could set up a long position. You see? Of course, since it goes against the macro trend, which is currently bearish, it's a very risky trade. However, there's context here, you see, and the context that Ethereum is showing is actually pretty interesting. The risk-reward ratio is good because our target, after mitigation, is much higher. Right, it could. It's possible the market could even go after this open liquidity here at 2100. If this is really the demand the market wants, then it's an interesting region where we might see some tension. Right, you see? Between 1590 reais and 1540 reais. AVAX, I shared a position in AVAX around this BPR region, okay? It failed. The market even respected it to some extent, right? On that wick, but it only paid out 2%. After that, it failed. The downward flow was really strong. But just to be clear, I bought AVAX here, okay? I bought AVAX in the 6 region in spot, all right? I believe this one has potential, so I took a position in it. In spot, I used low leverage, just 2 times leverage as well. We're going to do a little trade with it, okay? But it's safe. It has to be something with less risk because we don't know what could happen, especially during this World Cup period. And the election in Brazil, right? But let's see what will happen with the election in Brazil. It doesn't affect the market, not really, but even so, the market is showing some instability, especially altcoins when it comes to holding steady. So I think a trade right now, you know? Yeah, it has to be with lower risk, less exposure, and another thing is that we caught a really nice trade. It went really well too. ND, here it is. I already took 50% profit, just like with Bitcoin too. This was the trade I shared, okay guys? I called a short at 633. The market recorded it. My short is the market. It went there like a sniper, you know? Just like that. It's very similar to Bitcoin. I waited for the market, it captured liquidity, broke structure, and for us, the change of character was a real change of character. The price generated liquidity and mitigated. The order block, which lined up with a POC, I nailed it. The 1636 to 633 region, right? Just above that order block, we're riding the wave. The market has already dropped 10%. The trade is looking great. I've already taken out 50%. The price target is external liquidity. Let's see how it needs to play out. The trade is looking beautiful, really beautiful. And we also have Atom, another really nice trade I shared with the community, a little short. 2 is between 22 and 7. So the position here, the asset isn't even under pressure. You know, it's a beautiful trade. It has to be amazing. You know, the market here has already dropped 11%. I've already closed 50% as well, partial close, take partial profits and let the trade run. You see, there's no stress. The only ones who get stressed are those who don't have a plan, you know? You need to have your strategy well mapped out. That way you can relax and trade with caution. Man, I shared a really beautiful position. Set up to sell in this hot zone, it's at 2.59 and the price reached 2.56, right? So that limit order I placed, it doesn't make sense to trade in this region anymore. Now you have to wait for the price to move and see where it wants to form a new structure. Interesting. For now, it's not looking very interesting. No. And another altcoin I'm analyzing here is XLM. It's an opportunity we might have. It's a complicated trade. Why? Because this altcoin got really strong when dominance started to drop. It went up about 40%. However, it mitigated a 4-hour order block. That block is interesting. And we have open liquidity in the 0.2070 region and more significant liquidity at 0.18. So what can we do with this altcoin here? Since the market stopped at this order block and it did a stop hunt, it swept the liquidity that was above this region. Here it mitigated the block and immediately rejected it. So what can we do? We see a strong rejection, so we switch to the 15-minute chart to identify where I could have some alignment in the flow. Because we need to align the flow. There's no point if you don't align the macro with the micro. If you don't align macro with micro, your accuracy will be very low. So by aligning macro with micro, what was I able to identify? I was able to identify that the market changed its character. Here, I made this accumulation where the price accumulates a lot of liquidity. See here? This is my key level on the 4-hour chart. This region is my key level on the 4-hour chart. It was at 23,600. Okay, there's some liquidity here, and it hasn't been swept yet. Now, this here is structural liquidity in the market. It breaks, and it broke structure. It comes here forming a boss, then another BOS. And with each structure formation like this, the market doesn't go for the liquidity. So when the market breaks structure and doesn't go for the liquidity, that's structural liquidity. Okay, so the market was in liquidity there. And we have this area to pay attention to, right? What could the price do here? It could come and sweep the liquidity from this accumulation, which is much more significant than the structural liquidity. There's also the POC here, so the price comes and sweeps this liquidity, okay? And it mitigates the key level with the hot zone, right? So I could look for a trade here in this setup, okay? My stop loss would be above this top here, all right? In this case, in this scenario, and we wouldn't leave the stop. Loss above the 4-hour block. Okay, I would set my stop loss a bit tighter. Let me see here. It's already a lot, which is great. It's really volatile, right? In the last few days, it went up 40%. So it doesn't make sense to trade the 4-hour block. It would make more sense to trade this region. You have two options. Either you set your stop loss above the hot zone. There's some liquidity here, okay? That would be 2%, 3%, or you use lower leverage, all right? You work with lower leverage and split up your entries, okay? You make an entry at the key level. First here at 0.23600 and another entry at 0.245, okay? And leave it like that. You'll get a good average around 0.70 here on the Fibonacci. I set my stop loss at 0.2540, more or less, okay? It's a possible trade setup that could happen, all right? When we align the macro with the micro, it looks interesting, right? So I would take a trade similar to this one, okay? It's an altcoin that I'm keeping an eye on. Alongside that, all right, I built a position in Avocas, just like I told you guys. And I'm going to look at other opportunities here, okay? I'm not going to talk about them in this video because otherwise it'll get too long. But those who are in the community, who are in both groups, are making the most of it. Because right now, when 80%, 90% of the market has been liquidated, we're short. And now, at this moment, we're already protected. And let's wait for the market to outline its structure, you know? It's all about patience. If you panic, you'll never be able to make a profit in this market. Never. Work with caution, work smart. Traders have to be smart. If you're a dumb trader, you'll just be a retail trader. You get it? So in market, we have to speak clearly, right? So whoever's in the market has to tell the truth about the market. And the truth, one of the truths, is this. If you're a dumb trader, an impatient trader, a trader who thinks every move is an impulse, a trader who thinks every break of structure is a liquidity sweep, man, you're going to lose a ton of money, okay? So get out of that herd. Are you going to follow the herd? Share the video, leave a like, join the groups, and if you can, check out the video. I'm sure you'll make back your subscription fee in no time. But if you can't afford it, join the free group and help out by sharing. Let's go for it.